Well, now to the thoughts of the SNP's erstwhile partner in government, the Scottish Greens. Co-leader Patrick Harvie came into the studio. So John Swinney is looking like hot favourite to become the next First Minister. Could you work with him as the First Minister of a minority government?
Well, the Scottish Greens certainly won't be giving you names of people that we think the SNP should vote for. That's for them to decide. And just as we did last year, we'll set out a clear position on the values that we think are necessary. What Humza Yousaf did last week was to end a progressive pro-independence majority government. They decided to move into minority government. OK, that can be stable and Greens can play our part in that, but it needs to be a progressive government and it needs to continue to accelerate action on social justice, on economic justice and on cutting carbon emissions in the light of the recognition that we're years behind where we should be on climate. You
have worked with John Swinney before, though. Is he a man you can trust?
You know, John Swinney obviously is a very experienced character, but there are people across the SNP who have a range of different experience. I don't want to speak for him in terms of a decision he'll make, and I certainly don't want to speak for the SNP in terms of the decision that they need to make. I think it's worth recognising as well the human impact on this. John Swinney has spoken about how difficult it's going to be to make that decision. Humza Yousaf spoke about how difficult it's been for him to acknowledge the need to step back. And I give him credit for taking responsibility for the actions that he took last week and deciding to step down. But it's a difficult thing to ask anyone to do, and the human impact really does matter.
Now that Humza Yousaf is going, and it's him that you had the issues with, not the party, would you consider another parliamentary partnership with the SNP?
I don't think either party thinks that it would be appropriate to try and recreate the Butte House Agreement. Trust was broken, particularly with that last week, but a number of other issues in the past as well. And I think it's really important to acknowledge that over the course of the Scottish Parliament, there have been majority, minority, coalition. There's been a range of different ways in which government can be stable. Minority government can be stable. And it should be. The country needs stability after the turmoil we've had. OK,
do you bear any responsibility for this state of affairs, as it was your party members that were going to hold this meeting to see whether or not you're going to leave the government? And that's what led to Humza Yousaf's decision. So do you bear any of the responsibility?
Every party bears a share of responsibility. I don't think anything the Greens have done is intended to generate chaos or drama for its own sake, unlike, for example, the way the Tories are behaving at the moment. The Greens wanted an open, democratic discussion about a cooperation agreement that, remember, was shaped and then signed off by the members of both parties. Perfectly appropriate for the members of the Scottish Green Party to debate that.
OK, Patrick Harvie, thank you so much for joining us this evening.